Hi guys, how are you? This is Kathy with Kincaid Special Creations coming to you with the final September Try It Tuesday on October Friday. I'm sorry, we were at the beach and we did all these things. We got all these things. I had to cut them all. I had to fussy cut them all out. I had to pick and choose which ones I wanted to use. We do not have our personal pictures in here yet, so that will come at a later date, but I wanted to show you the backgrounds, what things we did, what things we have, how the book turned out. So here is our journal that we made. Here is our one that we used, I filled out. So let me pull that out. This is the one we may have to use to do our personal stuff in. But if we do that, I'll bring it back and show you too. Okay, we went to the Outer Banks of North Carolina the weekend of September the 20th. We had the best time. The weather was absolutely gorgeous. It was sun shining every day. It was windy a couple days, but not bad. We got to go to the beach and see the sunrise. We got to see the sunset. We got to do all the running around we wanted to do. We had the best time. So there was no rain days to sit down and work on this book. So the only one day we got was like the Thursday before we was getting ready to come home. And Mandy put this one in. This was when we started our trip. She changed the words on it to say the things that we wanted to say. She's so much better at this than I am. This is just a little map of some of the things that, are down in Nags Head and South Nags Head, Roanoke Island, Manteo, Bodie Lighthouse. So this was just a picture that we captured off of the things. We put this background on it so that it would shine through. She put washi tape down through. On the next page, I began. So you'll see the difference. This is just a row of houses that's on the beach that's down there that you can, and they're wonderful houses. I mean, you can go down and get nice houses. They're a little bit more pricier than most, but they're still beautiful places. Are right off the beach. You can go down to the beach anytime you want to. You can sit and watch the water. You might be able to see the dolphins. We stayed at a couple of places while we were down there over the years that we've got to see the dolphins in the water. This is the roads you can drive down. They've got this is just a little river and stuff that you can go through those little marsh areas. Here is some places you can see while you're down there. This is that bridge it goes over from the main part of it across where I'll show you the part opened up. They just detoured that and instead of having to fix it every single year, it was probably cheaper to build this bridge than it was to keep replacing the sand and the road and everything else for when those big heavy storms come in down there. This just the roads. I don't even know if this was in the Outer Banks. I just thought it was cool. You could go running if you wanted to. But you could run on the sand, so you could do that as well. And then we have, this is in reference to my granddaughter went to a special place down there. I don't even remember what the name of it was. And she got some specialty drinks. They were okay, they said, but they weren't the best. So, I think they cost like $8 one of these size containers. This is a couple of girls. Reminds me of Hannah brought a little friend of hers down, and they, went shopping all the time. This is probably sisters, but those two girls went shopping. Here represents when we went to Bodie Lighthouse. We went across a walkway out to the water. Got to see that. So these are just different walkways that you can see. This is a sanctuary down there where you can go and see stuff. This is just what you could see. If you were on the ocean side, you could see an ocean liner. You'd have to be have a high-powered pair of binoculars to be able to see the ocean liners, because the ocean is too narrow right there, at the shoreline for them to go through. But you can see them out on the horizon. We've been able to use a pair of good binoculars and see them. You can see people surfing. You can see them kiteboarding. You can see them gliding. There are tours that you can take, boat cruises you can take, and dolphin tours. So those are things that you could do. And of course, fishing. Then here, Jockey's Ridge is a place I have never been to, but that is nothing but a state park where they fly these kites from. But it's the largest sand pile, I think they said. So it is huge. It is really huge. One day we will go to that. And this is paragliding, where they have the big old umbrella and you swing off of it. These are kites that are flying. This is representative of the 4x4 beach where the horses are at. I've not seen this in person, but I thought that was pretty as a recognition of something I might want to look for when I go back down there to see where this horse is at. And this one. Okay, this is another one of these paragliders, and an up-close view of it, the horses, and another view. Parasailing is what it's called, parasailing. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we have this place. This is the town of Duck. This is one of the nicest places. They have this nice big boardwalk that you can walk around everywhere. On the sound side, they have all kind of shops available for you to stop and buy you something to eat or snack on or whatever. So it was pretty cool. Here's another house sitting on the beach. This is like that little walkway up by the Pea Island where the refuge is for the turtles. And then this is a dock off of one of the places. And here's a lighthouse. This is the Cutterick Lighthouse that's down there. These are just places that you could go see if you were down there. We have been to Duck. We stayed in Nag's Head. No, Kitty Hawk, I think it was. We stayed at the Green Iguana. And then we rode up and did this little walkway. Okay. Next one is we went up to the 4x4 beach. That place, I will be honest, terrifies me. It is a huge beach, probably about a 50 to 75 foot beach off of the ocean. It's huge, it's long, the ocean is just, waves are just beating on the shore all the time. But for some odd reason, that first 5 minutes or so that I arrive on the 4x4 beach, I have to just, everybody go do their thing and leave me sitting because my nerves are shot. Now it's just a mini panic attack. But before, I've had some huge ones. And it's all the sound of the waves coming in there. It's just an eerie feeling that you have up there. The reason that the horses got there was because there's some shipwreck off of that area. And the horses swam to shore. And they've just been wild ever since. So, I don't know. It just gives me a really weird feeling. I don't know why. Can't explain it. But I have learned that if everybody just goes on about their business and does their things and give me 5 minutes to recoup my mind power, I can adjust to it and learn to be able to be out there with them while they're playing in the sand, collecting seashells, whatever they're doing. I can do that. That first little bit, it's hard. So if anybody suffers from panic attacks, and I am not a doctor, tell you what works for me, is for everybody that's in your zone at that moment to just back away from you for about 5 minutes. Let you put your mind, okay, I'm not in any danger. This is all right. I can handle this. And breathe in, like my daughter told me. Breathe in through your nose at a count of 4 and out through your mouth at a count of 4. And your brain will focus on your breathing and not on what you think is an imminent threat to you. And then you will be able to be okay. It will not satisfy every panic attack moment that you have, but the little ones it'll take care of easily. Big ones you're going to have to work a little harder at, because I have those as well. Sometimes it's just too hard. Sometimes you just have to wipe away from the situation and let your mind settle down. These are the horses that they have that are roaming wild out there. They've taken lots of pictures of them. One time, maybe twice, that we was up to the 4x4 beach in North Carolina. We were able to see the horses come down over the dunes, these dunes right here, come down over the dunes and go to the water and get a drink. Now, why they would drink salt water, maybe they've become accustomed to it. Maybe they went down to take a bath. I'm not sure, but they went all the way down to the ocean down there. I was down there playing in the water. But they say that if you even touch one of those, and I guess they're heavily surveilled, that you can get a $5,000 fine. So look at them from a distance. They're beautiful. They're some of the prettiest horses I've ever seen. Just don't think you can go up and pet them. That's a no-no in their area. And another thing I learned in doing this is if you don't have these big pages to use as background, simply take a marker. I have Yobi markers like this. And simply color your page in so that your background now is not white. You don't have to find a piece of washi tape to go there, whatever. Just match your color up with your, go on Sam, with your page to the best of your ability and just color it in. Just use markers. Don't use permanent markers. Always test your marker. You can't see it on this, but test your marker on a piece of paper. Let's see, I don't know if this is thick enough or not, but let's try. Pull a piece of paper out of here. And pull this up. Take your marker, whatever your marker is, and just color on it. And then turn it over. See, that just goes, that don't come through. If you was to take a regular marker and do that, it would show through on the outside of that. So just test your markers. These Yobi markers are really good. I don't even know where you get them at. I might look them up on Amazon to see if I can link it down in below. But these are very good markers. You can do just about what you want. Look how pretty it colored. And then it doesn't show through to the other side. If you're using a, like in a planner or something, you're good. Okay, I thought this one was cute. It says, where AI means awe-inspiring, such and such and such. But I just covered that up. There is a beautiful, awe-inspiring view of the sun going down, another dock, and then two birds flying. I thought that was beautiful, but I love the saying, AI means awe-inspiring. It does not necessarily always have to mean artificial intelligence. So, we just have to show the artificial intelligence that we have common sense and can make better judgments. Okay, and this is the turtles. Up on the 4x4 beach, certain times of the year, it is shut down because the turtles come in and lay their eggs. It said from beach and beyond. This is not a sea turtle, but it's the only other turtle that I had, and I had an empty spot, so I used that one. Fun for the whole family. This is that bridge that you go over. This is the sun setting down behind it. I know that because we stayed at these houses here, at one of these houses, and the bridge is in the background of it. So that's a beautiful sunset. Here's another walkway. Here's a house, like a pier house with the pier there. Here's another thing of the Cutterick lighthouse. Here is a canoe. A guy in a canoe. You could do that on the Sound. Here is just people walking. Just people enjoying walking. There's one surfing. Another canoe. And, not a canoe, a kayak. and a paddle boat. We did take a paddle boat with us from here down there. And the cute girls got out on it one time, but they learned real quick. You don't paddle out farther than what you think you want to, because you have to paddle back. And the paddling back sometimes ain't near as fun as paddling out. These are some more pictures of the horses and see the wild Mustangs. Here's a guy fishing and some kind of a long-necked bird. I think that might be a crane standing there on the side. They're getting ready to go see the horses. Here's a dog sitting at a picnic table. This is important. This is about the rib currents. Always be mindful if you go to the beach anywhere. Before you're going to plan a day out at the beach, check your weather channel in the local area and see if there is a rip current warning, because this is what terrifies me the most when those kids get out in the water, because I've still yet to be able to see one in real life that I can absolutely say, but I think it's where the waves come in and then the water gets sucked out in the middle real quick. So just be mindful. And don't go, if they say it's a rib current warning, definitely don't go out farther than what you're capable of standing up in case you get a wave hit you, because it could, even though you're not in where the rib current is, it could knock you over into one of them. And they say if you do get caught in one, to let it take you out until it loses its grip on you, and then swim sideways till you're out of it, and then swim back to the shore, because you will not be able to swim straight back to the shore through that rip current. And by all means, make sure you do your own research on it so you have your own knowledge, your eyewitness reading knowledge of how to handle a rip current, because that would be scary. Okay, the next one is just some pictures of different houses that are down in that area. There's the old jail. Here's a little cute little bench that's set out down there, and then there's the bell. So those are things that you could see while you're down there. Here's some more pictures of things that you could see while you're down there. This looks more like the dock down at in Florida, but it come out of a North Carolina visitor's guide, so that might be sitting on at a hotel or something somewhere where you can go out and watch the water, and it's got its own little dock out there. This I had to look on the back to see which way the letters was going, because I could not tell if that was upside down or not, but the words on the back, this is correct doing. Just a pretty picture of a false or a sunset with just a branch in front of it. You just never know what's going to take a pretty picture. This is about them riding bikes on those boardwalks that are down there. A guy standing in the water fishing. More birds. These little birds, I don't know if it's these particular ones, but there's little birds. If you're ever at the beach, you can see them. They will run out when the wave goes out, they'll run out and eat something all over the ground. And when that wave's come back in, they will know to fly so that water won't get them. I don't know how they do it, because their legs are a lot shorter than mine, and I can't outrun that water coming in. I've gotten wet several times. And here's some more birds flying over. Here's, I think that's a bird's nest out. That's a bird flying. I put this little birdhouse in this. This did not come in here. But this is the Nag's Head Wood Preserve Center Trail. So there's a trail in here where you can walk. Here's another bird's nest. Here's some girls watching the birds. This is an osprey, pelicans, egrets, and more. So you can see, I didn't know they had pelicans down there. Awesome. The next one is more pictures of different places to see while you're down there. I got this because this reminds me of Sammy walking out on the dock just up from our house towards the where they were fishing at. It didn't have the little thing on top, but it did have a nice little area where you could go out there and go fishing. This was one of the things that we could not find while we were down there. as part of our scavenger hunt, they were supposed to find a lifeguard tower, which is this right here. But in September, they don't run them all the time down the beach we were on. This is a thing where, like, their sisters were walking down the beach. And this is what our place more looked like. I don't know if you can see it or not. The houses are up on top, and then the sands behind it. That's more like the beach that we were at. Where we were staying, you could go out there, you could see the houses up top, and then the beach was all down through here. So that was pretty cool. Here's some birds flying across the water. I might have them upside down. I might. Here's somebody making a sand castle, a big fish, so they go out on the ocean or the sound fishing. They can get them a big old fish. This is somebody just putting their toes in the sand. These are the different types of ships that are available in different areas to go. Like, you could go on a cruise. You could just take a small cruise around the sound side. We did that for Bren's wedding. We just took a boat, maybe about this size, and we had dinner and stuff in it, so it was pretty cool. Then we have this is another one. This is the same one, but this is docking. This is a little fishing boat. They have chartered a fishing boat probably 3 or 4 times while we've been down there to go fishing. Here's it in dock, and here's another big ocean liner. These are the pages that I'm going to fill in some of our stuff with. Here is let me turn it sideways so you can see. Here is a full list of all the stuff. We come down here on 168 to 158 and drove all the way down through till we hit 12, all the way down to Salvo. That's how far we went down that first day. Took us a little over, I'm wanting to say 10 hours with our stops that we had to make to get there. We checked into our house, had a good time. And then from there, we had jumping off spots to do other things. My sister and brother had a house here on Avon that we went down and visited them and went out on their beach and had just a little bit of scouting for seashells. My daughter found a conch shell that was that big around. It was huge. She said she was just out in the water playing, and when the wave left, she seen that there. I said, man, they did a nosedive, all of them, trying to find that shell. They say to be leery of those to make sure there is nothing in them, because they are a dangerous thing if they bite you. Then we have went as far as Ocracoke Island. We went over all the way to the end of it and seen the lighthouse on there. You ride a ferry from Hatteras over to Ocracoke, so it did pretty good. These are just talking about the different inlets. So I put the whole thing in and then just colored the side of it so that I could use this as a reference when we get ready to go back again. This is after a couple of storms that they've had. So this is why the bridge was important for him to just go ahead and make that bridge, because there was so much that would get destroyed on the road. I mean, it just was awful. And so they'd have to repair it, and it would take probably 8 to 10, 100 or 800 to 100,000, 800,000 to $1 million just to refix these areas that they kept messing up every year. So in their mind, it was probably cheaper to go ahead and build the bridge. And we've been down there all the way through the building of that bridge. And not this time, but the last time we went down, we actually got to drive across the bridge. And that was fun. So here is another map of the area. This is a little closer map of being able to watch how we come down. We come down 168 here to Cutterick, through all these places here. Right down through here, down to Jarvisville. And here is where it comes across the bridge onto the Outer Banks. Now, if you go north on the Outer Banks, you go through Duck, Corolla, on up to this is the 4x4 area beach right here. Okay, if you go south I don't know that we have it on this one. I'll have to show you on the other one. This is just taking it on up to Corolla. Now, these are just maps that of different things that you can do. This is where I told you Duck has that walkway through. And then this is another picture of the one where we come down all here, down to 12, all the way down to Salvo. And then on Tuesday, I think, maybe Wednesday, we went from Salvo all the way back up here, stopped in Nag's Head, Kill Devil Hills at a couple of thrift stores, went all the way up to on Route 12, past Duck, past Sanderling, past Pine Valley, past Corolla, past Wellhead, which is on up in here, to this 4x4 beach to where we got to see the horses. Now this is a little spot. On Friday, my granddaughters and daughter and all those went to the aquarium, to the North Carolina aquarium that they have over there. So it was, I'm not sure where it's at on this, but it was on this island right here. All right, guys, that is pretty much the end of September's Try It Tuesday. Now, in recap, I will put all 4 of the videos, or the other 3 videos, linked in this description if I can figure out how to do it. My takeaway from doing that: making the journal was easy. That's the one we did know. Making the container, this box, this binder, was the easiest part of the whole thing. You just take a cereal box and fix it the way you want and put your little rings on it. The next week, I went through and I made this journal. And I put the pamphlet stitch in it, which I thought was terrible. I thought I would never be able to do it. No, it's the simplest thing ever, 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 ever. The third week, we made our ephemera holder thing. And I showed you how to do that. And we used a lot of pictures out of this. So this was very helpful. If I find more pictures that are beach related, I can put them and refill this back up again. So that went off really good. And then this is the 4th and final one of that series. That is the showcasing of what I did. I did not bring you along for gluing all these in. It took me probably, if you just count the times that I just sat here and glued this stuff in, I probably did about 5 hours worth. But I did it on so many multiple days that it's been a while before I could get this together to get it set. Now, what we plan to do is to take some of these pages and that we accidentally, like when we went to 4x4 Beach and when we went to the aquarium and we're planning on putting those pictures in here as well to finish out this so that we know where we went and what we did while we were down there. Be mindful if you are going to do a travel journal. My takeaway for all this is go ahead and make your container, your binder that you want to hold it in. Make your things, the first and second video, make those. And go ahead and make your little ephemera holder. But if you're going to use backgrounds on those sheets of paper, try very hard to either decide what you want to do and make you a little mental note on each page and a pencil that says, okay, I want a blue background or I want an orange back. But go ahead and put the backgrounds in so that when you're down there, take your pictures and put them in there. I would suggest, because that's what I'm going to do for the next time, is to buy one of those little Kodak printer, those little photo printer things that you can get. They're expensive. And the refills are expensive. But the time and energy that you take, because we took a printer down to print pages out, it would not marry up with the Wi-Fi system down there. So I had to do what I was going to do, email it to my phone, pull it off the phone and print it. I could not. My laptop and the printer would not work together. It had to be my phone with my hotspot on my phone that would marry up with the printer. So in my mind, having one of those little printers that you can just pick your pictures off your phone that you want to print is going to be more time effective, more cost effective in the long run, and you will have your pictures ready to go into the places that you want them to go instead of having to pick them out, take them to Walmart, have them printed off. For me, that's a lot of extra running. For a lot of people, that's not a problem. People that are out every day, not a problem. So whichever way works for you, you do. All right, I'm going to see y'all next week. Try It Tuesday I keep saying this. Try It Tuesday this month is all about getting organized. I did my planner on Tuesday. I'm going to do a brain dump this next Tuesday. And then we're going to do, oh shoot, I forgot. Oh, menu planning on the 3rd week. And we are going to do a chore list on the 4th week. I am doing research on what is 2 or 3 different ways of doing them. So you don't have to there's just not one way of doing it. You can pick and choose the way that you want to do them yourself. So, see you on Monday for my glue book, Tuesday for my Try It Tuesday, and Wednesday for my Wednesday Savings Day. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.